this down. Alright. Hello, Northbrook. Why am I up here? Well, I'm a sucker. This was mentioned by someone in my recent Facebook post when on Monday, getting installed on the big board. And apparently, the last three past presidents, Scott Rogoff, Dan Scher, and Steve Nalisko, have been talking about me being president of this ragtag bunch since back in 2019. I'd only really been a part of the men's club for about 2 years at that point. My first involvement was really through the encouragement of Scott, who was my camp counselor back at Camp Interlochen in northern Wisconsin back then. Any mistakes or any stuff? You can't say no to a former camp counselor, or can you? And actually, my son, who's up there now, said him and Scott's daughter Sophie are teaching sailing together.
That's awesome.
So, anyway, I guess I made some sort of impression. So when Steve Lessman called me at some point last spring or summer during one of my work from home days, I seemed shocked. But then I made a bunch of phone calls to Rabbi Melman and past presidents, including our last two co-presidents, Larry Grossman and Ray Rockney, and the idea seemed more reasonable and more doable, given that it's a shared responsibility with someone who has a lot of history here at CBS and as president of this wonderful organization, Steve. I would first like to thank everyone for this opportunity to continue to help lead the CBS Men's Club. At my previous synagogue in Oklahoma City, we had a men's club, but they didn't do that much. I knew about Worldwide Wrap, and they did an annual blood drive, and I think they sponsored the Break the Fast buffet, but their presence in a small shul of about 150 families wasn't that obvious. When Scott convinced me to get involved, it was a great way to initially meet a lot of people being new to CBS and the Chicagoland area. And since we joined after Brandon had his bar mitzvah, I didn't have a group of other Hebrew school parents that I knew for many years. I pretty much knew Lee and Laura Schulman, since Lee is one of my partners at Northwestern, as well as Tammy and Ray and Scott through Camp Interlochen, and then also one set of cousins. But then it's pretty easy to play Jewish geography, and then you either find people you knew from my old synagogue in Milwaukee, or summer camp, or USY, and then your circle expands. I don't have the lifelong CBS history like many of you do, so I still have a lot to learn. I'm getting better with names, but I still need some help in learning what are traditions and the CBS way to do things. For example, who here really knows how to work and clean that big coffee maker in the kitchen? I don't think we're ever gonna modernize that, but I do think that we need to modernize many things in CBS Men's Club. Lawrence Levine did an amazing job with online payments, but let's digitize more things. Here are some random ideas. A directory, board member / committee responsibilities, an actual social media presence, committee signups, participation signups, for example. I'm young, but not that young, as you can see from my lush head of clear hair. We need to bring the average age of membership somewhere closer to my age. I'm going to need a lot of your help with that, given that I'm still kind of a newbie here and didn't grow up with any of the younger families. In my many conversations with Steve, this won't be a two-headed dictatorship. We will help to guide our other leaders and participants in our many award-winning programs. It was so awesome to see our Gold Awards at the FJMC convention. Attending this 2 weeks ago and the Leadership Development Institute a few months back through FJMC have given me a lot of ideas. I'd also like to, of course, thank my family. Nobody could be here tonight, but that's okay. Brandon is up at camp, my mom is back home in Florida, and my girlfriend Elise isn't feeling so hot this week. I get a lot of support and ideas from them. Brandon was already a CBS leader, having been CBS USY president in 2019-2020, so in some sense, he knows the ropes a little bit better than me, but I'll be an empty nester pretty soon. And I forgot to say this when I was originally typing this. My dad, who passed away just under a year ago, was president of Congregation Beth Israel's Men's Club some point back in the 80s, so I don't really remember a lot that happened then, but I know I'll be getting some inspiration somehow that way. So I'll be counting on each and every one of you for assistance and guidance, and hopefully I can do the same. And hopefully you can handle another Packers fan as president. This seems to be a growing growing trend here at Congregation Beth Shalom. Packers
remember
fan,
who's taping it.
leadership, success, consistency. And apparently our club can handle co-presidents who are both from Buffalo Grove and who aren't Cubs fans. So this is a very diverse and egalitarian congregation. Well, I've rambled on enough. I feel like I should have some sort of saying or theme for our presidency. Make Men's Club great again. No. Ask not what your Men's Club can do for you. No. 1,000 lockboxes of light. No. I'm not sure. Besides the fact that we won't all be on Zoom finally. So shoot me a text or an email if you have any ideas for a theme. And if you need anything in general, I'll try to get back to you as fast as I can. So thanks again to our outgoing board members, our incoming board members, our continuing board and exec members, and to all of you who are conniving enough to get this sucker to co-lead you for the next 2 years. Good night, everyone.